Ghost, with the opportunity for a Hollywood finish, will take the Indy 250.
Phoenix, there they go, down to the bottom, 4, 5 wide. Let's see if they can all keep it together. But Jacob Jarnagin.
Remember last year when they ran the Weenie 500, they streamed it on YouTube, on their YouTube channel? They're bringing it to TV this year.
Finale as we take a look quickly at those driver standings for you all. As you can see, Garrett Jarnagin has, I believe, showed up for the session, so he will clinch the series championship just as soon as he takes the green flag. But take a close look at that battle for second. As you can see there, Jack Smalin 24 and Rohan James and DJ Fluck, if he has an excellent night, can also catapult his way to that second position. So that'll be the close battle for tonight to see who ends up finishing in that second place position. But no matter what, these drivers definitely want to be able to see a checkered flag, even if they don't end up first in the points. So we'll have to see how aggressive they can get at this multi-groove racing track of Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm going to take a closer look at that track info for tonight. As I mentioned earlier, located in Concord, North Carolina, opened in 1960, quite a long time ago. It's a traditional intermediate, being 1.5 miles long, 24 degrees of banking all throughout the track. Session rules right now, we just, as I'm speaking now, are wrapping up our 20-minute practice session. We will then kick it off to a 2-lap qualification attempt for our 40-lap race for the finale tonight. Important to note, as you can see there on the track map, Charlotte is a little bit more unique than your typical mile and a half, such as Kansas, for instance, with Charlotte being a quad oval. So you'll notice right there before exiting 4 and then entering 1, those corners kind of stick out a little bit sharper, making it that quad oval that you kind of see also at Atlanta Motor Speedway, a track we visited earlier in the season. You see it there as well, but typically on a lot of mile and a halves, such as Kansas and Vegas, those corners are more rounded out, which leads to maybe less mistakes, especially so you'll notice a lot of drivers for tonight's race, you might see them get a little tight, especially on corner exit of 4, so we'll have to see if they can keep it out of the wall, especially later in the run. As per tradition with the typical rules for bottom split racing series, shouldn't be any cautions for tonight. Shouldn't be any cautions for any sort of stage cautions or any cautions for incidents on track. So with that being said too, there shouldn't be any reason to stop for fuel as well. Just a 40-lap shootout. If you're new here, welcome. But a 40-lap shootout just to see who can manage the tires their absolute best. As we take a quick look at the vertical ticker as we drop it down, you can see right now, we'll watch live to see who happens to be the fastest right now on track. For the qualification attempt, like I mentioned earlier, it is a 2-lap shootout. We'll have to see who can put down the 2 fastest laps. Who will be starting on pole for the season finale of Wednesday Night Dash. Important season stats to note for tonight as we pull those driver standings back up. Garrett Jarnagin is leading with 3 wins, which has helped him secure the championship for tonight. Scott rolls with 2. Braden Lewis and Chris are tied both with 1. Garrett Jarnagin also leads the pole category with 2 poles himself, with Jacob, Scott, Braden, Lane, and Chris all tied with 1 as well. Other quick facts for you all tonight. Laps led, Jarnagin leads with 73, followed by Chris Fuge with 64, and Braden Lewis with 50. Incidents, as per usual with Bottoms Blue, we typically try to get our incidents knocked out here to clean it up for the Wednesday side of things when we roll back there, but Harrison leads with 68, Connor Fuge with 67, and Eric and JP are tied with 61 for your top 3 for incidents. So we have time, we'll take a quick look too at our Garage Talk read. So join FR Racing's Eric Richardson and DJ Flug for an all-new episode of FR Racing's Garage Talk. In this week's episode, they recap the latest in Indy 500 practice, preview the NASCAR All-Star Race at Dover, and plenty of other unrelated off-topic banter. Search for FR Racing's Garage Talk wherever you download your favorite podcast or on YouTube, and subscribe today. Let's take a quick look at that gap right now. You can see Braden Lewis in the number 01 car. Right now is leading at 29.5 is the current pole position car. Looks like all the cars have qualified. So it shouldn't be too much longer. We'll get this thing rolling green. As we pull up that driver's things one more time. Like I mentioned, the battle we're going to be looking for is between Jax Millen, Rohan James, and DJ Fluck to see who can come home in second. Right now, as I sit, Jax Millen is on the front row, starting on the outside. Rohan James started 8th, and then DJ Fluck started 13th. Qualifying is one thing, it's a different beast to tackle, but Charlotte, compared to a lot of the other mile and a halves, it seems to have a little bit more tire wear, so expect these drivers trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack, but also with how aero sensitive these cars are, expect maybe some drivers to try maybe working a groove up or even 2 grooves up, try to get clean air on the front of that car to help fight some of those tight conditions you see out here. For the most part, though, expect a lot of tire saving to be done on the bottom of the racetrack, but once again, the pass for the lead could very well be on the top with how aero sensitive these cars tend to be. We'll wait for the cars to grid up here, take a quick look at the 01 of Robert Lewis as we grid, and then we'll see if we can't drag him for an interview if he is available to talk to. We try to get all the cars gridded up. See, there's the field starting to join in. See who we can't grab. Doesn't quite look like we're going to be able to grab those drivers. Still trying to get some technical stuff worked out on their end. So we might have to save the interviews for a little later in the run, if not for the finale. Nonetheless, pace lights are off on that lead car of the 01 with 24. 2 is outside. Pace car coming out of the exit of 4 rolls off pit road for the finale here on Bottom Split Racing Series. Braden Lewis will lead us to the green in the restart zone. Green flags out. We are racing at Charlotte. 24th, a great jump on that outside line. We'll have to see if he's able to stay side by side with the 01 going into the corner. As as it sits right now. He is right on the back quarter panel with the teammate of the 5 right behind him. A little contact there. The shove below the track. 24 is your new leader for the time being, but I have to imagine didn't appreciate that little side swipe. Could have been a blinking issue. As you can see, both of them are blinking. Both him and the 5 are both blinking. A little bit of back and forth back there as the car's off the pace. I believe that was the 19 getting a little off pace there of Connor Fuge. Does seem to get stuff sorted out here as we're back rolling back towards the front of the field. The 5 trying to make a move right now. Shot to the back bumper of the 5 car. We'll have to see how friendly they stay as they continue to swap paint. 42 of Chris Fuge, last season's champion, now making a move on the outside. The 24 there gets in the wall, scrubs all that momentum he had. Has to be forced around that higher line that he started with. Huge contact there with the 24 in the wall. 42 wasn't quite clear. This is big implications now for the 24. Remember, the 24 has to finish in front of both Rohan James and DJ Fluck. Secure his spot. There's big contact there again with Chris Fuge into the wall. As I mentioned earlier, it becomes tougher and tougher for these cars to get the drive off, especially coming out of turn 4. You'll see those tight conditions start to creep up. We're going to be 5 laps into this race, and they're already starting to creep up on each other. As the 24 has made a surge back to the front as he's already back on the back bumper of the 5. It makes you wonder how much he is saving. Braden Lewis and the 01's done a great job, too, of staying in this battle. Important to save tires there. As you can see, the 24 got a little tight at the check up. Allowed the 01 to get right back on his rear bumper. Another big shot there out of the 24 into the back of the 5. Trying to speed the pace of this race up. The 5 is just doing his best to control it as the 01's in the wall. Contact there between the 01 and the 24 after the 5 checks them both up. A lot of beating and banging towards the front of this pack right now. 4 scrape ups there back towards the trail. And you can see right here that massive curve that makes it quite the quad oval. Causing a lot of drivers coming out of turn 4 to scrub that wall. They hit it flush. There isn't too much damage to the car itself, but the biggest thing you do is lose momentum. On the front and back stretch, you want to try to get in line with that car in front of you to get that draft. Try to pull up to the cars, get the most air as you can, but on corner entry, you really don't want to be right behind a car, otherwise it could lead your car getting massively tight. And then your handling just fades away as the 24 makes a dive to the inside of the 01. I got a little loose there, it looked like off exit. Did a great job of controlling lanes. A great way that you can keep guys behind you, especially in these ARCA cars, is manipulate that air. You see a lot of these drivers, especially the 5's doing a great job. I'll take a look at him. 5's doing a great job. There he is. Manipulating the air, so you'll notice he'll slide in front of the car behind him. Just, there's 3 wide behind us. Just try to get that dirty air on him, make the driver behind him run a little bit tighter, makes him burn his equipment up a little bit more too. Still a huge battle. A little crazy back there. And 21 and the 4. Scott Rolls and JP Jones, they do get it figured out. As Lane Snow continues to lead. Right now you just want to find that clean air, but also save some tires. These cars running a bunch of different grooves. 24 kind of in that middle groove. The 42 running that outside wall as he hits the wall. There, you can see that difference in momentum as he just loses all of it. 24 now with a huge run to the inside. See what he can do with it. Little contact there on the middle of the corner. The 01's going to have that momentum on the outside exit. See what he can do. Great battling towards the front of this field right now. They're 3 wide behind him. 24 gets sideways. Does he save it? He's in the grass. Very aggressive move that has cost him a lot of positions on track. This could have big implications later in the race with Rohan James currently sitting in 5th. 24 cannot afford to do a pit stop here. Try to find a quick look at that wreck again. See what really happened. There he is, driving to the grass. See 3 wide on the exit of 4, not just quite enough room. Looks like he thought he might have been clear. Tries sliding up in front of the 42. There's no room though. The 42 gets a pretty bad lick in the wall. Not sure where he's going to end up. It does appear he's on pit road right now fixing that damage. We'll have to see where that ends up scoring them. Now looking back towards the live lead, Robert Lewis in the 01 has taken the lead. Little scrub up there between the 5 and the wall and the 2 car. If you're Rohan James, you need more positions here. 3 wide right there. Very tight between the 5 and the 14 and John Corey. Corey joined us a little bit later in this season of bottom split, but has proven himself with a solid top 5, I believe, at the last race we went to. The 4 car still very off pace here. As you can see, he is 3 seconds behind the back end of the should be the series champ of Garrett Jarnagin. Still have a good battle right now for this 3rd position between the 2 car and the 14 as they continue to swap. Right now, as it sits, the 25, if the 24 car of Jax Malin stays in, new battle for the lead there. The 01 looked to have gotten in the wall. That's caught him to fall way farther back. Now the 5 has moved himself back into the lead. Drivers continue to work down. May I remind you that we are still not even halfway through this race, and so those tires are already going to start feeling it. You'll really start to see the drop off here in about 4 to 5 laps. As soon as we get to a little under 25 laps on these tires is when you're going to really start to see the comers and goers and see who's been saving them and who maybe is being saved a little bit by that draft. The 01 gets in the wall again. Might be significant damage on that race car. As you can see, he's losing a lot of speed now. Back towards the front. There we go. Starting to get some technical difficulties figured out. Wi-Fi's coming in and out. I apologize for that. The 14 right now is getting a little help from that draft, but you can see can't stay in that draft on corner exit, or it might just burn up that right front tire and you can end up in the wall. So you have to lift a little bit sooner than expected or get a little bit out of the throttle. But to see what these two have pulling away from the rest of the pack. A little bit farther back, it's still a huge battle for this 3rd position. As you can see, all these cars lined up. Absolute battle for right now for that spot. Is right now the 14 is on the back bumper of the 5 car. Working over the American Airlines Chevrolet. To see if that Mobil 1 Camry has anything for Lane Snow. 14 seems to have the faster car right now, but you have to wonder how much of this is tire saving out of the 5 car. A lot of his wins last season came from similar strategies on a longer run He eventually had those tires come into his favor. Now with the clean air 2 as an advantage. Maximum downforce on the front nose of that Chevrolet SS. So we'll have to be able to see how much he's got in the tank and how hard he's really pushing that 5-car. Okay, quick look right now at tomorrow's race that we have coming up there. Season 7 for the Indy Racing World Series. Coming up on the end of things with tomorrow being the finale for their league as well. That happening at Michigan. Should be a lot of good drafting fun. Have to see how much the hybrid engine plays an effect as well. But fuel saving, big runs, expect all that and more. An exciting finish at Michigan International Speedway. Should be a good one. Expect a super packed field. Normally it's very competitive at Michigan. Might even see a couple broadcasters make an appearance to see if he can't defend his crown there at Michigan. Going off of that as well. Have an off week this Wednesday, but next week we'll be heading to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Should be a really good time. It's a night race, I believe, and so should be lots of... Well, that's the Cup Series schedule. It's not quite the right schedule. But yeah, should be heading to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. Should be good races right now. Team Extreme seems to be on quite a roll, led by Tyler Cheney and Tyler Lugo Vickery. Those two seem to be rattling off good finishes, consistent finishes. The 5 right there, you can see, gets in the wall. He's going to lose that momentum he had on the 14. Keep trying to get technical difficulties figured out for you all. See if we can't figure out what's going on. I apologize for that, everyone. We're having some internet issues, as I'm sure you can see with all the cars flashing on screen. I continue to work behind the scenes to try to get all that figured out for you all. Let's see if we can't get her. Have to see if we can hold on to this. Go. Here we go. Here we As stuff starts to settle out here. Few laps to go this time by. Right now, Garrett Jarnagin has shrunk the gap to 2.1 seconds. Try to get that vertical ticker going for you all so you can see as well. John Corey has remained in third place with Rohan James in fourth. Jax Mellon does seem to have rebounded to a 6th place finish. So expect him by the end of this thing to retain that 2nd place position. With 2 laps to go, we'll try to keep it on the 5 and see if we can't get at least one clean lap before the car as he exits turn 4 at Charlotte to take the last race of the Bottom Split Racing Series finale. As you can see, there is your finishing order for the race. Lane Snow coming home P1, Garrett Jarnagin P2, John Corey P3, Rohan James P4, Robert Lewis P5, Jax Mellon P6, DJ Fluck P7, P8 John Jarvis, P9 JP Jones, and P10 just a second. Just grabbing the drivers really quickly. All right. Do I have the 5 car? Is he present? All right. Can you all hear me?
I got you.
Okay. I apologize. I'm having all
John.
sorts of
John.
having all sorts of internet issues. So we're gonna try to get this off before this thing disconnects all again. We'll start with Lane Snow in the 5 car for tonight's winner. Lane, incredible drive out of you tonight. We saw a lot of good tire saving. So overall, a great night, start to finish. There was some battling there towards the front of the field, but towards the middle of that race, you got in a good battle there with the 0-1 of Braden Lewis. How were you able to keep the nerves calm, but also get a good finish tonight?
Well, I'd just like to thank Dawson for helping me out with that. He's been spotting me here, giving me a little coaching. Really helpful with that tire saving, just kind of keeping me calm, just knock all the laps out, see where we finish.
Talk to that a little bit too about the coaching. A lot of this stuff, tire saving seems to be a big deal, especially when we head to the racing on Wednesdays. How much of that can you transfer from Mondays to Wednesdays?
We'll see. Hopefully quite a bit. Be good to finally get one of those Wednesday night deals won. Just good to have the momentum going into next week.
Momentum is a good thing. Can't complain about that. With that being said, is there anyone you'd like to thank before we kick it off to our season champion?
Yep, just like to thank, once again, Dawson helping me spot tonight. Jack's been a good teammate all year long. Thank JM Motorsports, bring me another fast American Airlines Chevrolet.
We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us for tonight. And with that, we will kick it off to tonight's winner. Tonight's, I guess, second place for tonight, but the overall season champion for season 2 of the Bottom Split Racing Series, Garrett Jarnagin. First of all, congratulations on an amazing season. Came home with 3 wins to wrap up the entire season, but a whole lot of top 5s to go with it. Tell me, at what point in this season do you feel like it was yours to lose?
I think the finish at Lime Rock. At that point, I was like, I'm either going to get a good finish the next race and just hold position the rest, or get a bad finish and have to fight till the end. But luckily I was able to get a big enough gap where all I had to do was start tonight.
I feel like a lot of times we talk about the camaraderie and the teamwork overall that SMR has built up amongst themselves, but now, as you being the Season 2 champion and Chris Fuge being the Season 1 champion, you both have the only championships in the Bottom Split Racing Series, both coming from the same teams. Talk to me a little bit about that. I want to hear what kind of goes on behind the scenes to where you can continue to put different drivers in different car numbers, but same organization seems to finish in the first place in the season standings.
I think it's just putting in laps. We're constantly hosting sessions, getting whoever's available in there to turn laps, even if it's not a league we're running, not a car or track we're running. We just get cars on track just to work on traffic and all kinds of things. But we got all the stresses from the Wednesday league. We come down here for Mondays, and it's kind of take it serious, but at the same time, we're out here just having fun, laughing the whole time. I think that helps a lot.
Going to be pretty stress-free, as I believe you have the rest of the week off until we come back to racing on next Wednesday. Any final people you want to thank as the season champ before we end the season?
Just the SMR family, FR Racing for giving us a place to race, and you and the broadcast team for putting on a show all season.
And with that, we will wrap up tonight's broadcast at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Once again, we appreciate you all sticking through the entire season with us, but especially tonight as we faced all sorts of internet issues and some disconnects here and there. But once again, we thank you for tuning in for this broadcast, but all the broadcasts. Make sure to check all the other ones out on Tuesday and Wednesday night as well. Once again, a giant congratulations to SMR and the driver of Garrett Jarnagin, the 32, for getting it done all season long. And with that, we will